Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Now, Audible gives you audiobooks, podcasts, Audible originals, and more, all in one place. Whether you want to dive into a series, listen to a popular bestseller, or check out the latest episode of a great new podcast, Audible has you covered. Enjoy genres you love, like motivation, mysteries, and sci-fi. Follow names you know in comedy or true crime podcasts. Or discover the Audible exclusive everyone's talking about, The Sandman. The new Audible is your playlist for life. Try it for 30 days on us. Visit audible.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Max Gotro here with us. Sandy Isco with us today. Greg Bowser wraps up his season with us today. He was at the Lane Kiffin press conference yesterday. We do first class, second class, no class on Tuesdays. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. And a chilly, overcast day here in the capital city. Jimmy, good morning.
Freezing sucks.
San Diego, it ain't.
No.
We get you a fire pit.
I do.
For the Thibodeau store for Christmas. Okay.
Yes.
Get you an auxiliary fire pit.
Log stack. No, I have a fireplace in the house.
All right.
I just need logs. I got them.
Okay.
Thomas Odom brought them, dropped them off at the house. So, on Black Friday, I'm ready to I am hitting that son of a gun tonight. You betcha. You betcha.
Very, very good.
Yes.
So Lane Kiffin announced yesterday introduced as LSU's head coach. Was at the press conference yesterday, and some of the takeaways.
It was everywhere.
You couldn't hardly miss it. These were the takeaways I had, Jimmy, afterwards. I thought that he started out a little nervous. This was a packed house, probably somewhere between 200 and 300 people there. But I thought he relaxed really quickly, especially when he started talking about the football parts of the job. I thought he did a nice job with some of the press conference stuff that you get from a first-time coach or a new coach about how special the place is and why they came here. And for Kiffin, he had a lot to talk about there. I thought, listening to him about some of the Tiger Stadium stuff, I remember DiNardo's press conference about, some of the, it's got to be trick photography, and for Kiffin to talk about, his firsthand experiences of being on the other sideline. I thought that played really well. Everybody got a chuckle out of when he did his Ed Ogeron impersonation, which was also good. And he got emotional talking about his dad. I thought that stuff was very, very genuine when he talked about speaking at his father's funeral. Jimmy, you can relate to this. You just lost your father. And at the funeral, about all of the people that had sent him notes or sent him texts or talked to him personally about the lives that his father had touched. I thought that was very heartfelt and genuine, and why he leaned on his other mentors when making this job now that his father is not with us anymore. I thought all of that was very good. I thought that the beginning part when he talked about leaving Ole Miss, the Ole Miss people will tell you it's all phony. I didn't feel that. I think he wanted to coach in those games very badly. I think he was going to take this job regardless. Obviously he did. But I think he genuinely wanted. You can't spend that much time with that group, achieve what they did, and not want to see it through. But he had a choice to make, and we've been through all of that. This was the biggest takeaway. This was the biggest quote of the whole press conference to me, and this tells the story. This was the best setup, Kiffin said. This is after he had gone through, I didn't even look at my contract for my money, which nobody believes, but okay, it's a good line. This was the best setup because I don't care what your systems are, without good players, they don't work. And here's the part. In the process of figuring out the NIL package, those were not similar at other schools. Those were not the same. That's a big part of it. And to me, that's the story here. Was Ole Miss willing to offer him as much money for him? Yes. Florida as well. His staff? Yes. Infrastructure within the building? I'm sure. But the NIL numbers were different. He told you. LSU put their NIL numbers out there, and it was a better package than the other schools. And I think at the end of the day, as much as he talked about wanting to compensate players and get players and player relations, that was a difference. And if you want to, all of the other stuff factors in, but if you want to look at, that's what I took away from it yesterday. The number one reason he is here is he can get better players, and he told you the numbers were not the same at the other places in that regard.
I think it's important to not let your emotions get caught up with your emotions. I thought it was pretty good practice to listen to all of the 3 press conferences in the SEC. Keep in mind, when you had 0 coaching changes last year, we felt that this could be a little bit of a logjam. 5 coaching moves on Sunday. We're waiting on Kentucky with the 6 because they're late to the party. But I watched LSU Kiffin, Summerall, Florida, Auburn, and Golish, and everybody talks about how special the place is. Everybody talks about how awesome the stadium is. Everybody talks about a guy that they have known and told them just how special it was. Kiffin played in the building, and so he experienced it firsthand. And I think it's and he got it when the stadium was right. Tiger Stadium's a fair weather stadium. This era, so the opponent's right, the weather's right. It's at night. Bam! There's no place better. But and so last year, when Ole Miss was in town at night, and he's bitched about it. Why does LSU get to play so many games at night? It made an impression on him. It has to when you didn't like that. Those games in Alabama, you don't think that that place was popping?
Yeah, every time Alabama came in here with Saban, it was a massive game.
How many as an assistant? Was just one?
Two
of them.
Yeah.
As an assistant with Alabama, and so yeah, that's flowery. That's nice and everything. But everybody talks about that. He talked about wanting to coach his team. I mean, I was wanting to hear if he had any regrets on how he handled it that may have caused the ire and the drama that maybe, he dramatized this thing. It's not going to be. When you go from Ole Miss to LSU, and I hear LSU, Charlie, for the divisional era, which we're soon removed. We've been removed from the divisional for 2 years now, the divisional structure. And so that's the modern history now. LSU, Ole Miss is 4th on LSU's list. You got Alabama. You got Auburn. Those Auburn games were much bigger than the Ole Miss games.
For 30 years, yes.
Florida was your permanent. Much more at stake. And Ole Miss maybe 4th, huh? Probably.
It depended on what year,
But over the last 30 years or so, 4th.
Sure.
We're Ole Miss's number 1 rival?
No, Mississippi State, I would say.
Oh, no, they claim that. No, they're our number 1 now.
Well,
I know.
This will be the game
because Ole Miss is better than State now.
Well, they have been the last few years, yeah. There were years during this rivalry, during the divisional era, that they weren't.
Well, I'm just hearing a lot of this. Well, this is our rival down the line. Johnny Vaught's been going for a long time.
I think it gives juice to the matchup.
Oh, no. Now it does. No. Now it does. We're talking about this move.
Yeah. Have they been chief rivals? No, not since the 1960s.
Now, if they maintain the schedule, what's it set for 4 years or 8?
Yes, 4.
Okay, so we'll see if they're 4. But if they're one of the 3 permanents for the next 30 years, well, yeah, certainly. Yeah. And this adds to it, obviously. But I also don't remember it was nasty when Tuberville
Very
it was
nasty.
nasty. And he had to go to Oxford
Yes.
his first year. And Rudy Johnson busted off a run. His JC transfer running back. He busted off a run to kind of put it away. But it wasn't like this. And Tuberville was known as, he was that era snake, was he not? He was that era, that job jumper, was he not?
Yeah, of course, when Kiffin went to Tennessee, they threw mustard at him and golf balls at him.
He draws a little bit more.
Yes, than Tuberville. Yes.
But I don't remember all the social media stuff when he was leaving Knoxville, right? He just gave him 1 year and said, no, heck with it, I'm done.
I'm trying to – that was in 2008. I'm trying to remember exactly when – when social media exploded. Obviously, it wasn't quite like it is right now, but it was maybe not the social media aspect of it, but yes.
Did I miss it, or did he talk about second? What's that?
Lane joined Twitter in 2010. So.
That wasn't there yet.
So, did he talk about second guessing any type of his moves on how he handled this?
Every time he was asked about that, he pivoted to, I really wanted to coach the team, and we did everything to try to make that work. With me coming to LSU and me still being able to coach the team through the end of the year. And ultimately, Keith Carter was not going to allow that. LSU would have allowed that. Verge Osbury talked about it in great length after the initial part of the press conference was done. We broke down into smaller groups. Verge said, please coach the playoff. We want you to coach the playoff. Best for them, best for us. Do we want it out there, that you're coaching
it's easier
the playoffs?
for Verge.
Sure, of course it is. Of course it is. He's got no downside to it.
I mean, the departure and the reception was a little
just a little bit of a contrast. So you come out with Lane was going to pivot to that. Yes, I wanted to coach them. I came up with a plan. We produced several different scenarios where we could have done this, and I'm assuming that is time allocation. And it was a no until they finally said, not only is it a no, we got your replacement. You may go now. Your clothes are out in the parking lot. So that's what he pivoted to. He was asked multiple times, starting with Marty Smith again yesterday.
You can't, a mid-major, you can have your cake and eat it too. I mean, conference within the conference, you can't.
That's correct.
And I don't think it would be any different if a guy left from South Carolina to LSU or to Arkansas to Auburn.
Jimmy, they might have let him coach if he was going to USC. If the USC thing happened now instead of when it did.
Maybe.
They might have. But in the SEC.
Within the conference, that's done.
No.
Yeah.
They might even let him go to Penn State.
And I was wrong on that because I'm like, well, obviously he gives them the best chance. Wouldn't they want to, for the biggest stage, the biggest games they've had in 60 years, wouldn't they want the staff that gives them the best chance? And I was wrong.
Yeah, and a lot of that staff has followed him here. We'll get to that in the next segment. But the last thing I wanted to talk about in the first seg is he said, now this is Lane being Lane. He couldn't help himself. He says, and he said it twice, the 4 places that we looked at, well, that got us looking around in the media section because everybody's like, did we miss one? So he said it twice. He says, we looked at all of the things from the 4 places. Well, everybody knows 3 of them. So we're sitting there going, well, who's the 4th?
Well, Tuscaloosa as a college coach?
No. For this job, okay?
Wait.
What he was going to do right now, okay? He had an offer from Ole Miss. He had an offer from LSU. He had an offer from Florida. He said there were 4 places that we looked at when we were making this decision.
Penn State or Tuscaloosa?
Well, that's going to remain a secret. Ross Dellinger and I stand up as soon as he gets up, and now he's walking out, okay? And Delly says, I'm going to find out who the 4th team is. So I'll follow him. I'm going to go listen. We chase him and the party, Michael Bonnet, and almost to the elevator. And Dellinger catches him, and he says, so what was the 4th place? And Kiffin looked at us, and he said, yeah, I left that out on purpose. like, I'm not going to tell you who the fourth team was. Was it Penn State? Was it Auburn again? Was it the Giants or the Titans, or was it something that we don't know about? That was just him. He had that little smirk. Like, yeah,
He loves it.
I did. Yes,
he loves it.
That was him
He
being
loves
him.
it.
I left that out on purpose.
He would have told you if it was Auburn. He'd have told you.
He didn't have to say anything. He could have said of all the places we looked at. He went out of his way to say the 4 places that we looked at, just to kind of, hey, I'm not going to tell you everything.
Was Auburn a threat to LSU in his hire?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So I don't. There's no reason not to tell you that. You hear me?
So was it? Yeah. So was it?
So Penn State was a big boy. Penn State. I mean,
Penn State was my first guess. Okay, but
and then
was it maybe a pro job? I don't think
so.
I
think part of the reason he's waiting because if DeBoer doesn't get the 4th down and they lose by 3.
And
is there a chance Alabama opens up?
There's a chance Alabama opens up, but I don't think he would have been in contention for that job. And I base that on the fact that he didn't get a call when DeBoer got hired.
That's a couple years ago.
He's won
22 games.
A lot of those same people are still there. We won't know. Okay, I never considered Alabama a threat.
And it's been a lot since we just brought that yesterday. Not me, but there's a lot of people. The guy before us went on and on a national show who doesn't talk about any college ball.
Right.
Says, well, Alabama's a better job. So, I mean, how long does Lane feel that? When he was assistant at Alabama, how many times did they lose to LSU? I mean, just
none.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, let's not be naive to think that Alabama's not a threat when it opens up.
If Alabama wants to be a threat, yes, absolutely they are. I'm going to hold on this because I've got it from more than one spot that he had enough. When he left there were enough people that are still around that are like, never again. That's it. Will that change if Alabama ever opens up? I don't know. But I don't think that if DeBoer gets fired on Saturday night, I don't think Kiffin's going to Tuscaloosa. I really don't.
They are just like LSU. They want the guy that gives them the best chance to win.
They do. I'm not going to say they don't want to win at all costs. I'm just saying that
the guy has strengthened his resume over the last 2 years. They think just like LSU. Damn it, you win in 10-plus games a year in Oxford? You got them going to the playoffs?
I'm delighted that he's here. I couldn't be more excited about how this is all going to play out. I think it's going to be really fun to cover. But that's my opinion. And like I said, we won't know, but that's my opinion. I don't think that was ever in the cards. Even if DeBoer would have gotten fired.
So what? So you think an NFL job or Penn State?
I think yes. Yeah, that's mine.
I'd say it's. I don't see him. The NFL clock moves differently.
Yeah, you got another month. He could have coached at Ole Miss all the way through the end of the playoffs and then taken the NFL job. They would have waited. And when he talked about it like there was an offer, like there was legitimate interest. Alabama wasn't looking for a coach this weekend. DeBoer made his 4th down. Was he waiting to see if something? I doubt it. That's just my opinion.
You don't think LSU had started to put out some feelers before the Texas A&M game?
Feelers to if he said no?
What does the best athletic directors tell you? Always have a list.
Yeah, I got a hit by a bus list in my desk.
Yeah.
I think the number 2 guy on LSU's hit by a bus list.
You think Alabama has a list?
I'm sure they did.
Following Nick Saban?
Absolutely.
They sat home last year, right?
Yep, they did.
Yeah.
I think Eli Drinkwitz was number 2 on the hit by bus list, and he signed his contract extension.
Oh, no, Eli Drinkwitz was definitely the number 2
When it became clear to him this job wasn't opening up, he signed his extension at Missouri.
That's right. But did not increase that buyout 1 penny. And did not make himself less attainable.
No,
he secured. He was leaving for here or staying.
Yeah, got a nice raise out of it.
Yeah, so he had his cake and eat it too.
Good for him. Go ahead, Eli.
We're live here at Mike Anderson's. It is Pictures with Santa coming up. What is that? Is that this Sunday? Huh? December 7th? Yes, indeed. This Sunday over here, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We got all kinds of festivities for you. Max, hand me the flyer, please, right by your eyeballs. And so, hey, thank you, sir. So, I mean, it's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Sunday. Letters to Santa, crafts, face painting, door prizes, Christmas cookies with Lane Kiffin, petting zoo, special guest Disney's princess Elsa, Anna, and
Frozen.
And, what's that?
Frozen.
Frozen. What did I say?
The Disney Elsa and Anna. That's from Frozen.
Oh, they're from Frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. The face painting. Knox is participating in face painting. Layla's doing letters with Layla to Santa. So it's all over here. So over here at no, it's a big event. They will stock the bar with Crown for the parents. So it is a. The kids get so excited. It's as if they got a new coach.
It's like it's Christmas.
It was Christmas yesterday at the stadium.
Live at Mike Anderson's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. That is brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s, Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. New Handycast will drop tonight on YouTube. Some other stories that we want to get to in the Lane Kiffin thing. First of all, a couple people had commented that UCLA was the fourth team. If UCLA was the fourth team, that conversation didn't last very long.
Lane, that's when he cares about the money.
Unless
and the collective.
Unless Steven Spielberg went over to UCLA and dumped his fortune into the athletic department. If it was UCLA, that conversation didn't last very long.
The guy from James Madison could have had much better jobs than the UCLA job.
Yeah, there was the NIL package over there and the NIL package in the Southeastern Conference are light years apart. The second
travel budget, and not keep in mind, they are a branch of the University of Cal Berkeley, and they have to pay an annual check to Cal Berkeley because they left them out of the Big Ten.
Yeah, and how much time did Kiffin spend talking about Tiger Stadium yesterday, which, by the way, I think played a role, the 40,000 extra seats. I think it may have been number 6 on his list, but it played a role.
Here's the one that happened after the Florida game, and they were very excited because they had a record crowd, the 68,000. The rumors were hot that Florida was on. They were linking him to the Florida job. LSU had not become much of a public player at that point. And he was asked, man, there was extra media there, and they said, well, man, how does it feel to be? And he kind of snapped back instead of embracing it, and he said, well, you weren't here last week for Citadel. Where were you last week for Citadel? And that was kind of this is the best we got? This ain't Knoxville, Tuscaloosa, Baton Rouge, Gainesville. It's not that. It's not Auburn. It's just not. But they were very proud, and there was one, in hindsight, some of the Ole Miss, the veteran Ole Miss reporters, Max, you've heard that as well, kind of point to that point, wait a minute.
That press conference, they were like, he's gone. They felt like that was the one. It was so awkward.
They say it now.
Awkward.
They say it now. Yeah.
They alluded to it in this whole process, that they felt like the Citadel comment. They specifically referenced the Citadel comment as an outlier.
And so I was bringing it up, the stadium, because UCLA has finalized the deal to move into SoFi. Is that done or close to done? They're moving out of the Rose Bowl. It ain't an on-campus stadium, regardless. So if it was UCLA,
they
that didn't last very long.
tickets away for the LSU game. LSU brought a big contingency, almost half of the stadium.
Yeah.
Not quite, but close. And they still had the Adidas UCLA banners, basically, in the end zone, covering up tens of thousands of seats.
The second part is that Blake Baker, who I think that they would like to have back as defensive coordinator next year, Lane Kiffin would like to have back, interviewed with Tulane yesterday.
Who else is a candidate for that job?
Ed Orgeron is a name that I have heard, and after that it gets a little bit dicier.
It's the second time that he's interviewing for that job.
Yeah, and he could end up very well easily back here on staff if that doesn't work out, and I think that's the more likely scenario.
He was down there. They
took pictures at the game this past weekend.
Against Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. Would Baker take is Baker going to be offered the job? My information is that they're closing in on an offer. That's not done yet. And would he take it?
He's interviewing for the job. If he's offered, he's going.
Well, you would think. So
the same.
Is that going to happen in the next day or so? It could. The last two coaches at Tulane have parlayed it into Power 5
Who would you
head
hire?
coaching job.
Orgeron or Baker?
I would hire Baker.
He's an alum.
Yeah.
That keep in mind.
Yeah. And he's Ed's 64 now, okay? And it's not
looks good.
He looks great. And he's got a lot of coaching left in him. But I would go with the young guy, the up-and-comer, and see if I catch lightning. They've done it both ways. They hired an older coach in Willie Fritz. Now, he was 55, I think, when they hired him, or 56. But
they went to successful,
and then you got a younger guy in
coaches at that level.
Yes.
They were very fortunate to get.
They hit on 2 out of 2. Are they going to go instead
Both
for a head?
of those guys won at Georgia Southern and Troy.
They did. So are they going to go look for a head coach at a smaller school? I don't know. I just know Baker interviewed there yesterday. We'll wait and see what that happens. I don't think it's going to take very long.
Both of them left after they had success. It took Willie Fritz a little time to build it up.
Yes.
And then he left basically, after 2 seasons of
There.
success. Summerall had 2 seasons of success. They might be leaning toward an alum who thinks that they might stay. Might be prone to stay a little bit longer.
Possible. The other 2 moves, one of them is a little disappointing. The other one's a little bit more concerning. One of them, Jelani Watkins put himself in the transfer portal this morning. Now, we expect a good bit of defections. Watkins is one of the guys I was kind of hoping he would stick around since he runs a 10 flat or 10.02 100 meters. He's the fastest guy on the team. They never got in the ball. I think he caught 2 passes in 2 years. So I would have liked to see him stick around to see what he could do, but he's in the transfer portal. The other one is
faster than Xavier Carter
on this team. The fastest guy on this team. Yeah, he real fast.
Well, we were excited about him, right?
He was, yeah.
Okay.
Right up to the point where he kneeled.
Did he
when he kneeled on the 1 yard line coming out the end zone, I thought it was at Georgia. But yeah, I got less excited.
In Gainesville.
He fumbled in Gainesville. Okay. The other one's a lot more concerning. Richard Anderson, the 5-star defensive tackle from Carr, has decided that he's going to delay his signing. He is not going to sign tomorrow, and he's going to take some visits in January.
Kiffin did talk about how he has been in constant contact with Frank. Frank will maintain his interim position through the bowl game, but we also know that he loves his running backs coach at Ole Miss, who stayed there and who is reportedly his wife toured Baton Rouge yesterday. So he's kind of deciding if he's going to make the jump or not. How much of that is going to play into maintaining Frank? Will you try and take him off the field? Will you try and reassign him? At the least, I would think. But maybe he feels he deserves an on-field position.
Certainly possible.
Charlie?
Yeah. I think a lot of this is fluid. What other offers you get? You had 6 coaches take jobs yesterday. That's a lot of staffs to fill, okay? Are there better jobs out there for any of these guys? Are there position coaches that can become coordinators somewhere else? I don't know. Are there analysts that can become position coaches somewhere else? I think a lot of this is fluid for the next couple of days. They did make it official with Charlie Weiss Jr. He signed a 3-year contract worth $6 million. They also brought in the tight ends coach Joe Cox, the wide receivers coach Jordan McMillan, the other wide receivers coach Sawyer Jordan, the head strength and conditioning coach Nick Savage, and their player personnel guy Mike Williams. That's the first wave out of Knoxville, Oxford.
Knoxville.
Oxford.
We're going there next year too.
You think they remember? Is there any mustard left in Knoxville? Get the generic kind. I mean, don't get the really designer mustard to throw at him. Get the cheap stuff.
Lane Train won there too.
Yes, he did
that day.
Yeah.
Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive, 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins Road. The only place I take my vehicle. That check engine light comes on, come by. Check out the heater. It's not working. Come on. The AC unit, transmission surfaces, tires, just an oil change, electrical work. Son was in town from school, had to go get an oil change, went over there on a Monday, said, look, come back tomorrow at this time. You'll be in and out. Yeah, that's what he did, and they were ready for him, and he got him scheduled time. Because Jason's busy because he gives you an honest deal, not going to upcharge you for unnecessary work, so he has a lot of repeat business. No reason to take it anywhere else after you go see him at K&M Automotive. They're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday to 8445 Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery.
Live at Mike Anderson's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, I'm doing fine. I've been following all the excitement down at LSU, and I'm taking a look at next year's schedule, and I'm looking for what should be a very strong college football wager, and that is when Ole Miss hosts the Tigers next fall.
Who has the advantage?
I think Ole Miss will have the advantage.
Okay.
I think there's going to be just such a huge amount of emotion of feeling betrayed by their coach. It was a situation, and unfortunately, the way it should have been handled was that nothing happens until after the college football playoff. But the reality is it can't be handled that way with the signing day coming up and the recruiting and everything. The NCAA should really look into some sort of legislation that protects everybody.
Charlie, don't you think that's coming?
The SCORE Act, which has got some of this stuff in it, is going to pass the House by an eyelash. Then you get into, is it going to pass the Senate? There's a lot of stuff in there. The NCAA just can't make a blanket rule that these coaches can't move. Okay, so they got to have some federal intervention. Maybe. They've been hoping for that for, going on 4 years now since NIL became a thing in 2021. They ain't there yet. They like it, believe me.
Well, the legislation would be along the lines of there's no signing day, there can't be any discussions or any transfer portals till, say, January 15th. That there's a dead period between the end of the regular season and January 15th because by January 15th the college football playoffs will be over. And let's say the continuation or the new recruiting period would begin, and coaches could move, and all that sort of stuff could happen at that
Charlie,
point.
let's also. You still won't have colleges making hires during this time. I mean, we have a long sample size of the signing day being the first Wednesday in February, and there were still hires being made in early December, all over the place.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some kind of change to the calendar. Okay, is it going to be legislation?
Yeah.
If you can move, you can do two things with National Signing Day. The one that's tomorrow, you can go all the way back to February and have everybody sign there, or you can move the early signing period back to the beginning of the season, the way they do it in basketball. You can sign in basketball before the season ever starts. So you have the big signing day in, say, late August or right at the beginning of September. And then you have the season. That would alleviate some of the pressure to move these coaches as fast as they do. Even further is if you wanted to eliminate spring football in favor of summertime OTAs. That would eliminate the rush to get into a January transfer portal so that you could be there for spring practice if you were going to be there for the OTAs that occurred in May or June or whenever.
Charlie, what year did Tuberville was his first year at Auburn?
1999, I think, or 2000. One of those
2000.
2000.
I think it was 2000.
Right around there.
2000 in Oxford. Because Andy, do you remember that game? Because Tommy Tuberville left Ole Miss to go to Auburn.
It was 99. It was 99.
Well, the first game would have been the first game. His first year was 2000, huh?
No, his first year was 99. The first
He
year,
lost that game at home to Ole Miss? I recall they won that game.
In 1999, against Ole Miss, they lost 24-14 at Jordan-Hare.
Right, but I remember the first game being in 2000 when he went to. I thought that was the first game. Anyway,
Tuberville was a coach in '99. It was his
first
game.
trip. His first trip that year was that to Oxford. Rather, they won the game 35-27.
That was in 2000. That was his second year.
Yeah, so that wasn't the very first year, Andy. So I misremembered that a little bit. But they won and covered that one, by the way. So.
You're talking about who covered? Ole Miss?
Tuberville and Auburn against his old team, his first trip to Oxford. Yes.
Yeah. And again, it's an individual situation. I'm just saying, and look, the climate has changed in the last 26 years or so it'll be interesting. But the difficulty, of course, with whatever legislation that they pass will be the monitoring of it.
You know, Saban's first trip back to Baton Rouge was in 2008. It was a heavily favored Alabama team that LSU took to at least overtime, if not double overtime. And
that was
Alabama,
overtime.
And Alabama
just
beat
one
them.
overtime.
And Alabama was a significant favorite in that game.
More than a touchdown?
I certainly remember that because LSU wasn't very good in 2008.
It was still on the road, and Alabama was undefeated, but they were certainly underdogs in the SEC championship game.
That game was in so they played LSU in November that year. I seem to remember LSU was a double-digit underdog, but I could be wrong on that.
I think that's a little high. I think it was kind of around the touchdown, but we'll look it up.
I'll try and check that for you and let you know Sunday because I got records that go back that far.
Oh, you do? So that was 2008. That was his second year.
And I'll have the Auburn Ole Miss one as well.
Yeah. Now LSU was close to 7 or 10 point favorite in 2007, the first year there,
which was also a very close game, and that wasn't a good Alabama team. They finished 7-6 that year, or I think 7-6, and it was all LSU could do. A fourth down, Matt Flynn, early due setter. LSU was going to lose that game.
Yeah, and then the kickoff was fumbled.
There was a Chad Jones came through and got a sack on.
Oh, it was a sack? I thought it was right after the kickoff. Okay. I think he made a play on the kickoff, too.
Yeah, or Brody Crowell. They fumbled. They got down. Hester punched it in from the one.
I don't know. We're cloudy. It's too damn cold down here, Andy. I mean,
I was actually in the stadium for that one.
I was too.
We're about 40. We're about 43 degrees here at about 9:30. So. Not quite as bad as some of the places back east, but that's unusual for here at this time.
Hey, Andy, 6 of the 9 conference championship games are rematches. In college, any sort of theory on that? I know Nick Saban a lot. He always thought because he's so big on the psychological part of preparation, he felt that it was always a little tougher to get a team to respect their opponent when they already beat them, and like I know one of them, they beat Boise State, really beat the tar out of UNLV. James Madison didn't play Kennesaw State; they beat everybody else. But there was. Do you have any theory, any philosophy on those rematches?
James Madison plays Troy. Kennesaw plays Jacksonville State.
Right, and they did not.
Kennesaw played Jacksonville State. Already.
That's right. Lost at Jacksonville State. That's right.
Late in the year.
Yeah. Any philosophy on?
I've not had a chance to fully look at that. That's on my schedule for either later today or tomorrow as I get all set. So I've not made any plays yet for this. Sunday and Monday, I'm basically gathering all my information together and then starting to analyze it on Tuesday, which is what I'm doing later today. So. I don't necessarily – I can understand both theories. I don't know what the reality is, and, of course, it's not going to be a huge sample size. We don't have that many regular season rematches. Maybe you do in bowl games when they have conferences or interconference rematches. But, I'm taking a look, and, for example, now James Madison is not I don't believe that's a rematch, but they have such a huge advantage over Troy. I've done well with both Kennesaw and especially Jacksonville State this year, so not sure what I'm going to do in those games yet. The one that I'm looking at is Indiana and Ohio State, and I haven't decided yet, but you take a look at the teams that Indiana has beaten this year, I think half of their wins came against teams that were like 4-8 or worse.
All right, tell me this, Andy. What's your thoughts on an actual conference championship game that might be a letdown spot for Ohio State. I mean, after 4 straight years of losing to Michigan, you beat them, and then they go on to play Indiana, knowing that they're still going to be one of the top 4 protected, bye seeds. And in Indiana, who's hadn't won a conference championship in, I don't know, 67, forever. I mean, your thoughts on that?
Well, that's going to be on Ryan Day and the coaching staff to say, you know what, that was a nice win against Michigan. You've been waiting a long time for it, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't win the conference championship. So focus on Indiana this week. Easier said than done because you're dealing with young kids, but, some of these programs like the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Ohio State, they're almost like NFL, minor league type programs. They get very focused and, having been through it before, even though it would not, if this were a regular season game coming up, obviously there would be a letdown. I don't think it happens this week. That doesn't mean they're going to win because Indiana's a very good team, and they showed that when they went up to Oregon earlier this year. Now, what may hurt Ohio State is that other than that Texas game to open the year, they really haven't been in competitive contests in the fourth quarter.
And Cardell Tate, the wide receiver, told Coach Day, said, Coach, we didn't even play in this damn game last year. We won a natty. So how'd that work out for us, Coach?
Yeah.
So we will see, Andy. Andy, we are out of time. We appreciate it. Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. We will talk to you on Sunday for Football Sunday. Thank you, buddy.
I'll look forward to it, guys.
Don't forget Pictures with Santa, Charlie, this Sunday. Crown, we're stocked up with Crown. Letters to Santa, crafts, face painting, door prizes, Christmas cookies, petting zoo, and hot yoga.
Pants included. Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch. There was another hire last night. Kentucky moved real quick to fire Mark Stoops and hire offensive coordinator Will Stein from Oregon. He's a Kentucky guy, 36 years old, going to remain with Oregon through the team's playoff run and then head to Kentucky. So we didn't think that they were necessarily going to fire Mark Stoops until the last, 2 weeks. They just collapsed. And then we thought, well, you're late to the hiring party. Apparently they knew who they wanted, and they had a yes in their back pocket from a native son of Kentucky.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. They actually went off as the favorite in the game on Saturday. Louisville had massive injuries. They were starting a walk-on running back. And in Kentucky, they got smoked, man. So the last 2 games against Vanderbilt and Louisville, got beat by like 110-10. So, it was not at home, but it was embarrassing because $35 million due within 30 days. I think they'd rather not pay that, but it's guy had a heck of a run, man. He had a heck of a run, and to go to 6-7 straight bowl games, whatever it was, that's hard to do in Kentucky. And guess what? Whoever comes in, it's harder because you got one less rental win now.
Ironically, Stein is from Kentucky, and his parents went to Kentucky. He played quarterback at Louisville from 2000.
Yeah, I knew he was an in-state guy, but played cross. And they're going to allow him to
stay
coach.
with Oregon, yeah.
And Oregon's going to allow him to coach.
Yes.
They're going to be without their DC, or their DC is probably leaving for the Cal job as well. But Stein's worked with Frankie Harris, Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, and now
everybody's coaching in the playoffs but Lane Kiffin.
Kalani Sitake?
They're not in the playoffs.
They're not in yet. They'd have to fully upset.
They got a pretty high hill to climb Saturday.
That one team that they couldn't beat. Hour number 2, straight ahead. Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Mike Anderson's Pictures with Santa this Sunday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Letters to Santa, Christmas cookies, door prizes, face painting, petting zoo. Disney princesses will be here too. For pictures at Mike Anderson's, that's this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. All right, first class. I've mentioned this before, but in the last couple of days, but I gotta say it again. Coaching searches at their very best are extremely difficult. You got a lot of light on you. Everybody's trying to find out, and the best coaching searches are the ones where the information is confined to a very, very small group of people, and it's a lot easier to say than to do. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. Money, agents, counteroffers, families. It's not the easiest job in the world. And you compound it when you have to do it with people that haven't necessarily been planning for it for all that long. And that's what happened to LSU here. I'm pretty sure when they left Clemson, South Carolina at the beginning of September, they didn't think they'd be doing a coaching search that would start in late October, but that's what happened. Furthermore, I don't think that they believed that they'd have to do it after they had fired their athletic director, per comments from the governor, all the while swearing in a new president. But that's what happened. And so for Wade Roos, who had a little misstep when he came in with some of his verbiage to rebound, for Verge Osbury, who was thrust into this role that, again, when he left Clemson, South Carolina, I'm pretty sure he didn't anticipate that he would be in, to the firing of Brian Kelly, to the firing of Scott Woodward, to the ascension of Roos to the presidency, Osbury from one day, I guess, as interim athletic director to full-time athletic director, to add a Ben Bordelon, a John Carmouche, and a Scott Ballard to the very small group of people, and then target one guy. And listen, they had a backup plan, but the difference between plan A and plan B was a pretty big gap. I think Eli Drinkwitz is a very good coach. I don't think you would see nearly the excitement level if he had come here as you do with Lane Kiffin.
No, but he did. He blew him away, though.
Yeah, I heard it. A very good interview. Compounding it further is that you had another heavyweight in your conference that was bidding for this guy, and a school in your conference that was going to do everything in their power to keep him, and then the whole playoff situation. I got to give first class to Verge for handling all this. We've seen coaching searches with nowhere near this many outside components get botched. We've seen press conferences canceled. We've seen news reports that were rock solid get debunked inside of 12 hours, and we've seen panic moves when Plan A went awry. They navigated all of that. So for Osbury, for Roos, for the rest of the members of that committee, this was a job well done. And it doesn't matter if Kiffin is successful or not. We're just judging the search right now. They did the search the right way. They identified the guy that they wanted, and they went out and got him. And he's got as good a resume as you can realistically hire right now. So I got to give him first class.
Keep in mind that the newly appointed AD, newly selected AD, and the newly appointed board members had to juggle and coexist with the governor's blessings.
Yeah.
So he may have ducked out of the publicity on the whole thing. He was convinced, and maybe he was doing some of those things for political reasons, and they convinced him, no, that's actually not the smart political move when it comes to this coaching search. You will benefit politically by removing yourself. And to convince somebody to do that, Charlie, That's not easy either.
No.
I mean, and this is at a time when we would have butt of the national jokes.
Yes, for a month. This was tough. They did the job that they were assigned to do.
And one more layer, Florida had an in that you didn't have.
Oh, the hometown.
Yeah. I mean, she's an alum, and her dad was an All-American quarterback. She went to high school in Gainesville.
Had to overcome all of that. I put it this way. I think Verge ran rings around Scott Strickland. And I think John Summerall is a very good coach, okay? And I think he'll do well there. But Strickland, the meeting
Kiffin was clearly their number one.
Yeah.
Our contacts from Florida came on this show and told us why they thought they had it in. They thought it, and when they went to Oxford, they thought it was done.
And when they asked Kiffin yesterday what attracted you about Verge Osbury, he said, the guy told me, I'll give you all the resources you need, and then I'm going to leave you alone to coach the team. And apparently his meeting in Gainesville or meeting with the folks at Florida didn't go quite that well. So you give them credit for going out and getting the guy that they wanted. That's first class. Second class, there was another hire made in Baton Rouge yesterday, and I had a chance to listen to a lot of this when we got back from the Kiffin press conference, and that's Marshall Faulk, the Hall of Famer, who took over at Southern University yesterday. This is continuing a trend of NFL Hall of Famers, superstars that have taken jobs at HBCUs. Deion Sanders is the most famous, obviously, parlayed that into a job at Colorado. Eddie George, 4 years at Tennessee State in the Ohio Valley Conference, had a winning record there, parlayed that into a move up to the MAC. He was at Bowling Green this year. Now, they went 4-8 this year, but it's just his first year there. Deshaun Jackson, taking a job at Delaware State, 8-4 in his first season at Delaware State in the MEAC. And Michael Vick. Now, they had a rough go at Norfolk State this year. They were 1-11, but Vick taking that job. And now we add Marshall Faulk. Louisiana roots, went to Carver, and green and orange uniforms. Jimmy, I know you know him well. And, of course, I don't have to go through Faulk's resume as a player in the NFL. He's one of the best to ever put on a pair of cleats. I was impressed yesterday and he had a packed house too, when he started talking about some very specific things that he needed from the fan base. And he was specific. He said, look, we play football here in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Don't come watch the band and leave. You're not helping us if you do that. And by the way, I'm going to need a few of you to open up your pockets a little bit. We need to have some resources here in the program. This was Southern's worst year in 75 years. They did not win a home game. They salvaged it by winning the Bayou Classic this past Saturday, but this is the first time since the 1940s that Southern didn't win a home game. So he's got a rebuild on his hands, and the rebuild is going to take some money. What I heard yesterday was really good. So we'll see what type of success level he has, Jimmy, because there's some precedent here with these big-name NFL guys taking jobs at the HBCUs.
He's fine with a tough situation. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
Those HBCU jobs are really tough. They're getting a little bit more publicity these days, when they do the Friday Sports Center or the First Take and stuff like that. But still, and our prayers are certainly with Zay T-Set, who's still in a Las Vegas hospital, the Grambling quarterback, the Southern transfer from Scotlandville, South Baton Rouge Rams playground legend, still in the hospital from that late October injury in Las Vegas against Jackson State. So our prayers are certainly with him. But he knows about a tough situation. Growing up in the Desire Street projects, I mean, that was before Wayne Reese had taken over and brought a little pride to that program and got some of the kids get off the halls and come out for football, because Marshall Faulk was all Metro. Okay. How many guys on an 0-10 team make all Metro New Orleans?
I was going to ask you to tell a story. You beat me to it.
0-10 his senior year.
Did you
Carly Hallman came down and said, no, you're going to have to play defensive back. We can't use you at running back. Yeah, he was pretty good here. But anyway, a guy by the name of Curtis Johnson was an assistant at San Diego State and convinced guys like Marshall Faulk, Herman Dyson, Stevie Johnson, Ray Peterson, all from Old Perry Walker, to go from Orleans Parish out to San Diego to play. Curtis Johnson, you know where he's coaching right now, Charlie? Edna Carr, receivers. Yes. How about that? That's a decent staff.
With the Saints for a long time, Tulane head coach for a while.
Yeah.
With Miami.
They play Catholic this Friday night. So,
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but the lineman is delaying his signing tomorrow as well. We have to see about Frank. You know, how's that going to be? Your first juggling act for Coach Kiffin.
He wants to know who his defensive line coach is going to be as well as Frank. So yeah, he's probably going to wait till February.
But anyway, 0-10. No.
For Carver.
Same coach that sold Patrick Surtain. No, we don't have a spot for you. Really? Yeah. Was he our first choice or Gil Brandt's first choice?
Gil Brandt's first choice.
And that's the other thing that you on your first class with this coaching search for LSU. How many times has the coaching search at LSU landed their number one choice? Saban.
Very few.
Saban materialized to be their number one choice, but it was not their number one choice when that search was started.
Did you see Falk play in person?
Did not. Did not.
I didn't either.
Did not.
We just heard the legend. Carver was not very good.
For
Obviously,
him to go to Carver and get offered a scholarship at 0-10 is unheard of. He had about 11 interceptions, and he felt like 7 or 8 pick sixes. I mean, every time he got his hands on the ball. We can't use you at running back, though.
Yeah. That was probably a mistake. All right, no class. I'm going to take two things from last night's Monday Night Football game just because they're both pretty ridiculous. I will cop to this. Last year when we were doing draft stuff, if I could have picked anybody in the draft for the Saints, I would have taken Abdul Carter. I just loved him at Penn State, would have filled a big need. Obviously wasn't on the board when the Saints picked. I thought he was going to be an impact guy. Not only has he not been an impact guy, he can't even make the meetings on time. They had to suspend him for a second time last night for not being on time to team
Good for the interim coach, though.
Yeah, Kafka. I
mean, that's long-term. That's long-term approach.
Right, because I don't know if he's got a shot to get that job. Probably not.
No.
But he has. They've suspended Abdul Carter for a second time. So you're You're a first-round pick. You're in New York, and you can't even make it to the facility on time. You got to be kidding me. And then the other one is Younghoe Koo with the Falcons was for a 3, maybe 4-year period one of the best kickers in the NFL. It went south on him in Atlanta. They cut him. And last night he missed one of the most ridiculous-looking field goals. I covered high school football a long time. I didn't even see very many like that. He basically spiked his foot in the ground and never touched the ball. You, Max, you're a golf guy.
That's a stroke, huh, Max?
Yeah.
Was that a stroke?
Right.
Yeah,
They didn't give him an attempt, though, last night.
He never touched the ball. So I don't know how
I
you
got to go
rule on
golf
that.
on this. I'm giving him like about 3 misses on that one, Charlie.
Well, he's like Ian Baker Finch, who won the British Open and then all of a sudden couldn't hit the ball from here to there.
He touched the ground. That's a stroke.
That's a stroke. Okay. Well, we would charge him for the stroke. But so between Abdul Carter and Younghoe Koo, these two extremely talented people, one of them can't find a stadium on time, and the other one has just gone absolutely mental. I think Chuck Knobloch, Steve Sachs, Rick Ankiel, Steve Blass. The guy is a basket case now. I mean, we're not just talking about him missing.
Charlie
we're talking he can't even kick the football anymore.
Won't be the first or last kicker. He was thrown off. It was a little fumbled by it, and he didn't handle it his best. Okay, but he is not close to the kicker he was, and that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon. So you might want to look to. My man wearing the swimsuit in Norman. Or you could go for the Tokyo toe. The Tokyo toe.
Oh, Hawaii.
The Tokyo toe.
Yeah. 35 out of 36 or something?
He missed his first kick of the year Saturday night. Saturday night. He missed his first kick of the year. So
Jimmy, remember when we were in Vegas in week 0, we were sweating. We were like, is Hawaii's kicker going to be any good?
Yes,
I don't know about this.
yes.
He's great. He's awesome.
Kansai Matsuzawa. Okay? And so he is this season, he was 24 of 24. He went 1 for 2 on field goals against San Diego State. And he's 37 for 37. So he's actually got more kicks that he's made. He's 62 of 63. And is it Pineda, what's his name? The lefty for Oklahoma. You saw him Saturday. He was perfect again. What was the final score?
17-13.
17-13. He was 3 for 3.
I just saw biker shorts.
But he's 8 for 8 from 50-plus. And the Tokyo Toe is only 1 for 1 from 50-plus.
College kickers, some of the best college kickers we've ever seen, have gotten to the NFL and gone absolutely out of their minds bad. You remember when Russell Erxleben is the obvious one for locals, but you remember John Lee at UCLA? Was one of the greatest.
Yeah, UCLA.
Somebody took him in the second round.
Like we just talked about, your boy from Auburn, the kicking Carlsons. I mean, we knew somebody else was going to kick him. Putters, kickers, kickers, and
free throw shooters?
Closers.
Oh, closers. Okay.
Your closer might get reliever of the year. He's cut in the middle of the next year. I mean, when they go bad, they go bad.
Most of these kickers, when they go bad, they still kick the football, though.
Because
they don't kick the ground. They kick the football.
I don't think this is a trend. I think he'll kick the ones in the future.
Technically 6 of 7 this year from field goals since he didn't get tacked on for that. 4 of 4.
No, that's a stroke. I got it. That's a stroke.
I mean, they hit the ground.
He can blame the holder if he wants, but he missed the whole ball.
Well, what a stinker of a game, huh?
Well, not if you're from New England.
No.
For the Giants. First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting our
big
Louisiana
hit this
farmers.
holiday weekend.
Hey, listen, if you are Christmas is coming, okay? Make it with Supreme Rice. Your gumbos, your rice dressings, anything you're making with rice, make it with Supreme Rice. Brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, parboiled, low glycemic rice, the low glow rice. Make it with Supreme Rice. Wherever you pick up rice, your Rouse's, your Walmarts, all your AG food stores, you're going to save a little bit of money. You're going to get a delicious product. So, part of the Climate Smart program, future generations of Louisiana farmers, they're promoting methane emission reductions and water conservation. For more information, great recipes, go to supremerice.com. Live at lunch for Mike Anderson's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Mike Anderson's. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. Holiday gift ideas, get on the website at thethibodeaustore.com right now. Gifts of the season that include all your power tools, but also save up to 27% on your winter apparel available right now at the Thibodeau Store. The Milwaukee deals from Do It Best are available. Lots of outdoor heating options available for you. Security cameras and security locks are available. Of course, you can always get to any of the other locations. The Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. Also, the Pierre Part Store and the LaRose and Lockport locations are now open. TheThibodeauStore.com. You get to all of those locations. Delivery available on some items, but same-day pickup available on pretty much everything in any of the stores. So head to TheThibodeauStore.com. So there's one big job after this flurry in the last couple of days that remains, and that's Penn State, and it's been open longer than any of them. Yeah, and surprising that they have not been a little bit more active. It's been very quiet where they are concerned. Over the weekend, a report surfaced that they had asked to talk to Josh Heupel at Tennessee, who amazingly may be on a little bit of shaky ground up there. Don't quite get that one. They were in the playoffs last year.
Well, how do people around here handle it when you lost to Vandy? This year's Vandy's team.
Not real well.
Okay.
Not real well.
Okay. You got beat by 21 at home.
Yeah, I get. They were in the playoffs last year. I thought it might buy them a little bit more Love.
Well, no, he's still there. It is more than LSU.
Yeah. Well, you lost to Vandy by 21, and we didn't fire you on the spot. Okay, I guess.
At home.
21. Yes. So the name that has emerged now is BYU coach Kalani Sitake. Sitake's been at BYU for 10 years. He's 39 games over 500. Little bit tougher to evaluate because what do we usually go on? Conference records. Well, for 7 of the 10 years that Sitake was at BYU, they were not in a conference. They were playing an independent schedule, and he did pretty well all of those years except one. The last 2 years at BYU, he's combined 22-3 and 15-3 in the Big 12. They're 11-1 this season, but Jimmy, they need to win this Saturday over Texas Tech to get into the playoffs.
Be tough.
And they were beaten soundly in the regular season matchup between these two.
Well,
teams.
that was at Texas. That was at Lubbock. This will be on a neutral field
in Arlington.
I think a little bit of that psychological. And look, the odds makers make these, even the ones that are on campus sites, tighten these lines more. They think the playing field is or the advantage, for these conference championship games, not nearly as much. I was puzzled about the fit. I mean, the whole makeup of BYU with the Church of Latter-day Saints, with the Mormon sort of culture there and the whole thing. I mean, the quarterback Retzlaff with the honor code and all that, the missions where guys can go, the Samoan connections that they have, which he is. I mean, and he's going to go to Penn State. It's just kind of and he's an alum at BYU too, huh? And keep in mind, Penn State was the first job open, so what? They make a bold move. They get $40 million found money because the whole thing was, they got to pay Franklin $49. He took $9. He took $9. And what are they doing? Signing day's tomorrow. They got signing day too. I mean, what are they waiting for? I mean, I understand the athletic director was at Temple and he hired Matt Rule. When he was at Temple, they had a great working relationship. He's a former player, a football player. So he's a football guy, so Rule really liked that about him. But they gave Rule some money. They got same type of results pretty much at Lincoln, a little bit better. But I don't get it. And it's a football guy calling the shots there.
What about Brian Dable? His name has surfaced. The former coach of the New York Giants.
With the Bills.
They have gone in that direction before. When they hired Bill O'Brien, he was with the Patriots.
Totally different time.
Absolutely.
Totally different time.
That was
and they're looking. Bill
situation.
O'Brien was fine at that time. He did well. He parlayed that into an NFL job with the Houston Texans. They're looking for way more because James Franklin's results were better than Bill O'Brien's. But it was a different time there, and he was useful. He was, he provided a service for them at that time. They are tired of just winning. Damn it, man! They finished in the Final Four last year, and they're the first to fire their coach this year.
I watched it happen. That coach has already taken another job, and by the way, flipped one of their big lineman recruits. That flipped from Penn State to Virginia Tech yesterday. One of their higher-rated lineman recruits. Daboll, if they do go in that direction, has spent 1 year of the last 25 years in college.
Yeah,
you remember where that was?
Alabama,
yeah. That's correct. 2017, he was the OC. It was in between stints in the NFL between the Patriots and the Bills. For Saban. When Saban was I don't know that Dable really needed a career resuscitation. He had been employed in the NFL for 17 years and then took that job and then promptly went to Buffalo the next year as their OC before he got the Giants job.
And it was credited how much he deserves or not, but he gets part of it with the development of Josh Allen. Josh Allen was extremely raw, inaccurate, unsettled, and he's he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. That's it goes without saying, if not the top quarterback.
Hate to keep talking about money, but Penn State over the last 2 years, and I believe with at least 1 year to go, has been in the middle of a $700 million upgrade to their facilities. A lot of that is in the stadium. Some of that's in the facility.
Okay.
I don't know how much of any of that, if any of that, is earmarked for player budget or coaching budget. But could it be that right this second, while they're paying for all this other stuff, that they've got maybe a little bit less money for a coach?
Yeah.
It's possible. I know that every time LSU says that, the story comes out they're out of money, they seem to find some, and I can't imagine that Penn State couldn't do the same. They got pretty powerful alumni, too. But at least for the moment, they are still looking for
I think
a
Sataki,
coach.
The church, one of the leaders of the church, he's digging in his pockets. The owner of Crumble, Charlie, you love those chocolate chip cookies.
How can you not?
Yes,
they're
founded in
delicious.
2017, based in Utah. I mean, they're growing. They're doing just fine. So, funny thing is he's a Utah State alum, but he's he's a BYU supporter. But they're giving some money too. So. Remember when LSU? What year was it? LSU opened up in New Orleans with BYU. It was supposed to be in Houston.
16.
With the flood.
I believe that was. No, 16 was in.
He was fighting for his job
17.
at that time. That's a long time ago.
17. I think it was 17. Yeah. Oh, he was absolutely. And he you said he graduated from
Crumble owner.
Oh, the Crumble owner. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not Sataki, Charlie.
Yes, no, Sataki played at.
Sataki likes cookies too. My money's on he likes cookies.
If you get a contract and you get a lifetime supply of Crumble cookies, what does that come out to?
He said, "Don't worry about the cookies. Just put it in my NIL budget."
Well, the players like the cookies too, right? Who taught us that? Bebe. He says, "Hey, the linemen want cookies. Make sure you get them cookies."
Yes.
We'll see what happens with the Penn State job. We're brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. Get a free quote, morris-ig.com, for all your big boy toys, your boats and trailers, your motorcycles, your tractors, your SUVs. Get a quote, morris-ig.com, or you can call 201-0007, 225-201-0007. If you've got duck camps, you've got fishing camps that are in coastal areas, you need flood insurance, figure you can't afford it or it's not available, Morris Insurance Group says look again, because they can help you out with that flood insurance on those properties. For auto, home insurance, homeowners, and commercial insurance as well, again, morris-ig.com or 225-201-0007. My man Buzzy Hydell will take care of you. Greg Bowser joins us when we come back live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners when it comes to retirement. Man, look, there's a lot of options out there, a lot of things you can do. What you want to do, though, is be with somebody you trust. Trust Phil Fontenot and his staff. They've done a great job for our family. Get you into that lifetime plan, that lifetime relationship, no matter where you are at this point in your life, no matter what your income level or your age, they'll tailor-make a plan that is perfect for you, give you that peace of mind. Go to coastalcapitaladv.com to schedule an appointment. Coastal Capital ADV, Phil Fontenot and his staff. Member FINRA SIPC. Greg Bowser was at the press conference yesterday. Greg, good to see you again. And what did you think?
I thought he did all right. I thought Kiffin did good. I thought it was pretty good. Verge went out. He got his man. And, now you just got to coach him up and finish it. He's going to fill out a coaching staff. That'd be good.
Let me talk about Verge for a second, because you've known Verge Osberry for a long time. You guys were you didn't play on the same team, but you were at LSU at pretty close to the same. I think you missed each other by 2 or 3 years.
3 years,
yeah. But you've known each other for a long time. We talked about this a little bit, but a lot of pressure on him. A lot of this happened very, very quickly and not altogether smoothly with the transition to him. And then I think this is one of the most difficult coaching searches that LSU's ever had, because in all of the other ones, I don't remember them bidding on one guy against a team in their league quite so publicly. And I think that was tough to navigate, and I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they did a good job of doing it out of the spotlight.
Keeping this quiet is not the easiest thing to do.
It's difficult to do, but they did, and especially when you look at the number of people that were involved. You start talking about a search committee of 5 people who don't normally experience this kind of stuff,
who didn't particularly know each other all that well.
That's probably was a good thing that they didn't know each other that well.
You know, I don't know what. Maybe we'll ask Verge at some point. I don't know what his prior relationship with Wade Roos was, if there was at all.
Yeah.
Or Ben Bordelon's, relationship with Wade Roos or John Cormouche or Scott Ballard. I have no idea how many times those 5 people had been in a room together before this started was probably zero.
Probably zero. And hey, hats off. They did a good job of coming together and working through whatever they had to work through to get this thing done. And, at the same time, you're negotiating with one guy, one candidate, your top candidate, and you're not only dealing with the LSU side of it, but you have to worry about the Ole Miss side of it too. What's going to leak out from that side.
Yeah, or even the Florida side.
Yeah.
I joked with you during the break that Verge probably had his first good night's sleep in a month last night because the pressure of it. He did tell one story about when they were coming back from Oklahoma on Saturday, and they had basically radio silence for a 90-minute flight because the cell phones had no service.
Right.
And being unplugged for 90 minutes at this particular time on this day had to feel like that flight had to feel like it was 10 hours to him, right?
Yeah, I think it probably felt like it was a long time. But you know what? It was also a chance for him and the president to talk without any real
without the phone going off.
The phone going off, for them to sit there and talk and kind of iron some stuff out. And I think when they got in, they when it did get to the ground, I think they had a chance to kind of regroup and move forward. I thought it all worked out well. I think that was a good thing for them.
The other thing that they had to do, and I think this is extremely difficult also, is they had to have a plan B. We got asked about the plan B a lot. Like, okay, everybody wants Kiffin, but what if he at the end has a change of heart, or if you get outbid, or any number of things that could have gone sideways? To be negotiating with a second coach or a third coach when everybody knows who your top guy is, I wouldn't think that was the easiest set of circumstances either.
Yeah, I don't think it was the easiest one. What I think made it easier is that, and I don't have any inside information on this, but I believe the fact that they were probably negotiating with one guy, Jimmy Sexton.
Yeah, and there were some guys that were on the list that were not Sexton guys, but yes, Sexton does control so many different clients that would make it a little bit easier. Actually, for him, one of his clients calls it, do I have a chance to get this job? Well, if one of my other clients doesn't get this job first, then you have a better shot. But these guys all have options too.
Yeah, they do. And one of the things I've had a chance to meet Jimmy Sexton a couple of times, and don't know him really well. But next time I run into him, I'm going to ask him, how do you balance all that? You have 5 guys who are looking at a job. How do you do that?
Right, because the athletic directors are doing one coaching search. He's doing about a dozen, maybe. And another thing is he represents, I don't know how many it is, but quite a few coordinators. He's got an eye for talent, okay? So when he spies somebody that's going to be a head coach soon, usually scoops those guys up too.
Yeah.
He won't just take any coordinator, but there's a lot of them that he will. He thinks you're on a fast track to a head coaching job.
You think about how many guys he represents: head coaches, assistant coaches, coordinators, and athletic directors.
Yeah, well, that's true. And
I think
some people would see that as a conflict of interest, but sometimes it'll move jobs along a little bit. Okay, for Lane Kiffin now, you saw the game on Saturday. I'd prefer not to talk too much about that.
Yeah.
But number one, after the staff is put together, what are you expecting from him? What's realistic in a first year now? Because first years are different than we used to think of them.
Well, I think he's got to win immediately, and winning at LSU is not just being above 500. I think he's got to win anywhere from 9 to 11 games. Now, that's a tall
Next
task. Next year, yeah.
Next year with a schedule, and I have no idea what LSU's roster is going to look like, but next year's schedule, includes
and I think you
trip
can.
to.
Let me preface that you can win less than 9 games, but you better look real good doing it.
How you look is absolutely a big part of this. Next year's home football schedule, we talked about this, is one of the most attractive for season ticket holders ever. Clemson is coming here. Alabama's coming here. Texas and Texas A&M are coming here. But that's great for the ticket holders. For the coach, and he can't wait to coach in his stadium on the home sideline, man, this would be a hell of a thing. They got to go to Auburn. I know that's a first-year coach there, too. They got to go. We know about the Ole Miss game. Got to go to Knoxville. None of this is easy. No. Before we know what the roster looks like, Jimmy, sight unseen to the roster, over-under on LSU wins next year, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8. Yeah. They don't like to put them on even numbers, so it might rotate.
8.5.
Give them the 2 Rena wins. 8.5 might be high, man.
7.5.
So you look, it might be. It might be. All those teams, how many teams are going to be ranked ahead of them? All those tough ones at home. Not Clemson.
Not Clemson. Alabama will be ranked ahead of them.
Alabama, Texas, and Texas A&M will be.
For sure.
Yes. We don't know what Ole Miss is going to shake out, but I think they're going to get hit pretty hard.
And they'll be an underdog at Tennessee, probably.
Yes, on the road. I would
yes,
think.
Yeah, yes. But we have to see when that game is. But on the look ahead line, yes,
wow.
Yes.
Well, we get to find out all of that next week. That should be fun.
Auburn, Ole Miss will be close. The lines will be close.
So you think 8 wins, Jimmy, Charlie? 8?
I
got to see the roster. There's a lot of fluidity with 6 jobs, Greg. So how many? We got to see what happens to Clemson's roster. This is the one they've been waiting on. This is the build-up roster,
and we don't
know.
And
the 2 build-up rosters went south quick, and in Penn State and Penn State and Clemson.
Yeah. And the big thing at LSU is going to be who's your quarterback.
Right, that's where I was going.
Yeah. Clemson made a lot of us look stupid because we thought they were better than where LSU looked.
Yeah. Does the quarterback from Ole Miss transfer?
Right here. My money's here.
Jimmy says yes. I'm less certain of that. I do think he'll win his appeal to get. They still got to go do that. I think he'll win that. Will he? I think Ole Miss is so. What's your term, Jimmy? Butthurt.
They're jilted. Butthurt. Yes.
They might. LSU might have to pay Trinidad Chambliss more than the Chiefs are paying Patrick Mahomes to get him here. Okay, they'll mortgage every piece of property in the state of Mississippi just because they're not going to get stung again. That's the only thing that keeps me from.
You talk about Ole Miss being hurt, and look, they have right to be because
run reminders are not fun.
Well, because what happened is what Lane Kiffin did was he reminded them of who they are. Why did he leave Ole Miss and come to LSU?
I think it's a better job.
And he does that. He does that at a time when LSU's down, and when Ole Miss had the best year they've ever had.
But to their argument, it's being done now at Oxford, better than Auburn, better than Florida, better than Baton Rouge. It's being done in Bloomington, better than Ann Arbor, better than East Lansing, better than Happy Valley. So better than Los Angeles. So to their argument, right. But can you sustain it? And then when he's about to leave, guess what? The Grove Collective went up. Yeah. They didn't want to lose him. They loved it.
I agree with you, and it makes the point even stronger. The fact that he said, in spite of all of that, you're not.
No. They gave their girlfriend, their wife, whatever, everything.
That was
all they could. Now the $1 million question is: now when they were about to lose him, they raised it. But now will they raise it because, like Notre Dame's administration did? Yeah. If Notre Dame's administration had given Kelly everything they'd given Freeman, he'd have never come here. He'd never come. So now will they say, man, I'm done? Damn it. We can't give any more.
They should be going in the opposite direction if they want to keep this up, because we do think that Lane Kiffin is a better coach than
Pete Golding. Meet my friend Charlie. Right? He spends other people's money much easier.
Very good at it.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, which, by the way, if you know the Dame, they're saying to themselves it was a good deal. They did the right thing.
Well, but they, it's an old saying, but it's not adversity. It's how you respond to it.
Yeah.
They were jilted. They were insulted.
Yeah.
Flat out insulting. Yes.
Seems like here lately, LSU.
It's a much prouder level than Oxford. Yeah.
If I were a fundraiser there, you got to figure out a nice way to say this, but if you want to maintain this level, you got to give the new coach more than the old coach because the old coach is better than the new coach.
I think that Freeman's just a tad more polished than Golding. Just a hunch.
Yeah, more than somewhat. Now, if you're Golding, if you want to spur the donations, go win the playoff game. They'll be shoveling money to go win a playoff.
Oh, it's a big one.
Go win that game.
They'll be a home dog though.
They'll shovel money in your direction. Greg, it's going to be fun to watch. Thank you for all your contributions all year long.
Thank you, Greg. Happy Merry Christmas, man.
Happy retirement, man.
Yeah,
you got a lot of golf in your future, right?
A lot of golf in my future. Max is going to take me out and show me how to play and give me a couple of lessons.
Max is good.
He's going to give me a couple of lessons.
Max is good.
Put him on your team for a tournament.
I'm
telling you. You saw me on the doubles courts a lot in tennis. I know how to get a good partner.
It's all about the ringers. All about the ringers. Thanks,
Don't
Greg.
forget our friends at Total Maintenance 480-1000. Winter is the best possible time to take advantage of our overstocked AC systems at Total Maintenance. And we got to move them. Got to move them before the new year. Total Maintenance is offering $5,500 off select systems, as well as steep discounts on the ductwork you have to put off replacing that 30-year-old unit. Free evaluations of your system to find out exact recommendations and options. So if you're not sure, we'll come out and evaluate your situation. But $5,500 off select systems right now at Total Maintenance. And also 10% off any membership. Mention my name, Jimmy On, when you purchase a membership program through Total Maintenance. That's good for all services that we provide. And be sure to ask about our AC and Heating Elite membership that comes with a system monitoring solution to inform both the owner and Total Maintenance if a problem should happen the second it does. Total Maintenance 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Mike Anderson's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Probably going to do this a lot as the transfer portal opens, but when quarterbacks go in, we're going to tell you who they are, just in case they find their way to Baton Rouge. Colton Joseph is a sophomore quarterback, just finished up at Old Dominion. Threw for 2,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, ran for 1,000 yards. Old Dominion was 9-3 this year. He's 6'2", 200-pound sophomore quarterback. Really nice-looking player. They beat Virginia Tech by 19, and they hung around with Indiana. Now, he didn't play particularly well that day as a passer, but he ran for 179 yards against Indiana and 2 touchdowns. They lost that game only 27-14. That was a season opener. So this kid's got a little juice.
Old Dominion's good. You would hope that he would have a better touchdown to interception ratio. 2-to-1 is not very good in college.
No. There's a lot of rushing yards in there, though. We'll see. Just a name to keep in the back of your head.
But they were good. They're
Yeah,
good this year.
9-3 season.
They got Virginia Tech coach who got him fired.
Pictures with Santa this Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Door prizes, Christmas cookies, petting zoo, face painting, letters to Santa here at Mike Anderson's Wesley at Nicholson. Tomorrow where it snows. Until then, have a great day, everybody, and stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN.